thank New South Wales Floral for asking me to start this series of elements and principles. We're doing this series because a lot of things are happening online, and we've got two new learner judges who are going to come on board, and we thought it would be a good idea to record these sessions so it's beneficial to all the members as well as the learner judges. We have a YouTube channel, and you can see some of the designs of the members on the YouTube channel. So New South Wales Floral Art, you can type it for YouTube and you get some of them are also on our website. Today I'm going to talk about space and line. We've talked a few things on the table today as well on the space. This given space, whatever you're given space, if you're given 75 centimeters, it's always good to cover 75% of your space. If it's 75 centimeters, you can't put something really small because you will be down pointed using your space. You can go higher, lower, whichever way you want to go, but you have to use 75% of your space. That's the right proportion to use basically. Space in all other designs as well. I've just done a traditional asymmetrical design just to talk about it. I've used a white container, and somebody came up and said you can never use a white container, but that's not true. If you're using white flowers, then your white container is not dominant. If you just have a white container and then put everything else but white flowers, then your container will be very dominant. I've used a container here which is asymmetrical container. So you try to do an asymmetrical design. Don't do a symmetrical design on an asymmetrical container. Okay, there's a cupid here, so it is an asymmetrical container. As the basic principles go, you go twice or 1.5 times the height, 2/3 of that on one side and 1/3 of that on that side. And when you start, you can see a lot of spaces. In traditional designs, this is where the spaces will go. You have to have, as they call, let the butterflies fly, basically. So that's how I've done this design. So just to show you that even in traditional designs, you do need spaces. You can't have them really, really close by like that and not have spaces. It increases the rhythm of the design, and it's always really a very good way of giving it depth to the design. Like this leaf is down here, but it's got depth in the design. So it gives you a focal. It may need a bigger focal maybe, but this is the way I've done it today, just to talk about it as a traditional design. Then I'll do another and you can see there's already lines here. I have to talk about line as well, but I'll talk about that later. But this has got lines already, which is very contrast to the framework that I've done. Lichen covered branches, which is, I just want to make a sort of an outline to show about space, leaving so much space in between here, a negative space, and then I'm going to fill it with flowers and succulents at the base of it. Some really nice succulents I've got here, which matches the monochromatic design, but I am going to use some green anthuriums as well. But just to show you that whatever you use, the plant material used is your negative space, and your positive space, and whatever is without the plant material is your negative space. So I'm going to use some of the sorghum for the height. I'm just grouping materials as in a modern design. And to carry the eye through, I want to just create some depth to the design, so give it some depth as well. And different textures. Textures matter a lot as well in your design. So just very basic, and then I'm going to use some of the anthuriums and giving some color. So when I start using the color, what I would do is start from the top and bring your color down so that it goes throughout the design. These are some beautiful anthuriums. Thank you, Sharon and Carol, for getting my flowers, because they went to the markets and got me some flowers. I've covered my oasis with some wood shadings. So just taking some green up and then giving some very low groupings. So if it's a line design, then that's curved, and that's the contrast to the container basically. So you need contrast of line as well as space, the negative and positive space. This is going to be, so see, this anthurium is going this way, so I will never use it on this side because it's going on this side. If you can use it on this side, but not on that side. So I can change this one to go on this side, and this one to go on this side. See where your plant material, your eye is going to take you with your plant material as well. I've used oasis and there's some plastic underneath because this container was not waterproof. So there's some plastic underneath. And I'm using the Trix carnation for the texture. It's a really good texture for this design. Because this is rough and these are smooth, but the Trix gives it all that sort of a pushy look that you can put a few things at the back to give it depth as well. It is an educational demonstration, so please ask questions or add to whatever space and line you have information about, because it's going to benefit other learners basically. Yeah. So usually, depending on whether you're doing a horizontal line or vertical line, if that's your 8 and that would be your 5, and that the depth would be your 3. So in the same way you do your color placements as well. So one side, if it's heavier here, then I would put much more here. So make it, you can have it 1/3, 2/3 as well. So that makes a lot of difference as well, to balance the design basically. Even if you put your anthuriums at the back, just that the color is going through that depth is good enough like that. So basically it's framed. I need a negative space here. There's negative space in between my material and the textures and all give me a good contrast as well. Also make sure both of the things are not at the same height, because that makes the contrast as well. So that's one of my designs. A line. So it's a spider webbing I've done and top. And then this is 2 cardboards, 2 thick paper, not even cardboards, thick paper, like manila paper, with wire on the inside, stuck together. And because you've got wire, you can really roll it the way you want it. And then these are the cork pieces that I've just stuck on them. I've got 2 cork pieces there, and then there's a bamboo at the back to hold my mechanics. These are the dried bird nest fern. And there was such beautiful shape that I thought I would use it because it's all brown, complements the color, but the textures are very different. And then the Banksias I've used, which are dyed. At the moment, since I think COVID, a lot of people are using a lot of dried material, and which suits me perfectly because where I live, it's not very easy to go to buy fresh flowers. These are dyed. Yeah, I don't like using the pinks and all that because those are pretty. But some of them, like this one and the red one in that design, they look much better. These are the solar flowers. It's a reed which they harvest in India, and then they dry it, and it's a lot of labor they use. And I'm just using 2 of these in my design. What I'm going to do is I'm using this stem to push the metal mixing into this so that they stay there. Then another one up. So I'm just using, don't have to have flowers all the time. I'm using magnolia leaves, which has got a little bit of green but has got brown as well, which takes the color through in the design. And gives a contrast as well. I've got tubes attached to the spider web, and it works well. To repeat the spheres on that side, I'm going to put one sphere here, that's half hidden because I don't want the full sphere to show, because of the area of dominance in that area. So that's another design. In this one, vertical is 8, and then 5, and the depth is 3. Again, line designs, if you do vertical, stick to your area of whatever area you're given, the space you're given, and leave lots of space in between your materials. And in contemporary work, try to group everything, much more grouping than in the traditional design that I showed just now.